Hello, this is Rahti of Creative Calling Coaching, and welcome to my twice weekly COVID coping live stream. As you may all know already, that I use the letters of the Hebrew alphabet as a jumping off point to explore different spiritual, psychological aspects of living. And I use a particular deck called the Kabbalah deck, which is comprised of all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet as well as the 10 sephirot of the tree of life. And the sephirot are these fundamental divine energies that comprise the cosmos and existence. So I just happened to pick the very first letter of the deck today. That would be the letter Aleph. Aleph, right, as an A. Interesting enough, it is actually a silent letter. It is, I believe, the one letter in the alphabet that has no sound. It is pre-sound. It is what sound comes out of. And so it is considered significant that the Old Testament, the Torah, the Bible, the Torah, starts with the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Beit. So before you can have Beit, you have Aleph. Aleph is basically the fundamental silence and space from which all things emerge. In a sense, it's creative energy itself. And so when you meditate on Aleph, a good reason to do it is if you're feeling a little inert and you need a little oomph, right? You're wanting for some creative energy or possibly inspiration could come. Supposedly, and I don't quite see it, but maybe some of you do, this letter itself, the shape of it, is supposed to be reminiscent of a person ready to spring into action. All right. So if you need readiness, if you feel just that kind of lead balloon energy, lead ass, I think it's called, you need the energy of Aleph to get you going. All right. So that's the main thing about Aleph. Boy, this could end up being a really short live stream. I don't know. I find that stillness is an important concept in everything. Well, I'm going to riff on this a little bit, and if you happen to have a question or a comment, please put it down in the chat. When I pull these cards, as I always say, I figure that it's meant to be, it's meant for me, and it's meant for you. So if there's some resonance this has for you today, I'd love to hear about it. For me, the resonance has direct application to my coaching practice because I find that I do my best work when I come to a session totally open, with my mind silent, and I'm able to fully receive a person and where they are psychologically, energetically, in terms of their challenges, without any agenda, without any instructions, right? Without any attachment. And I have to say, that's a really good way to start any project. It doesn't mean that you don't desire or anticipate an outcome. You do. In fact, every coaching session, what makes it pretty distinct from a therapy session is that the coach and the client agree at some point during the session on what the outcome will be. What challenge will be the focus of the conversation? And then what strategies or actions will that conversation yield in order to keep the client moving towards their overarching goals in life, right? And the strategies could end up being very subtle. They could end up being mental habits, right? So I know going into a session that I'm going to create an outcome with a client, and they're going to walk away with an action plan. And they're going to go out there and improve something in their life. What I don't have is any agenda about what that is or how it's going to look. There are other ground rules, such as if we have, and most likely have, decided on an action plan at the previous session, I will follow up on that and see if that work was done. And if it wasn't, it is not the occasion for shame. I do not get frustrated about it. I get curious because there are a lot of reasons why a client might not follow through on an action plan, and a lot to be learned through that. So all of this ability to coach is grounded in the capacity to be empty, to be open, to be silent. And that is what the letter Aleph is talking about. It is illicit. It is an invitation to your ability to be still. And what is that prayer that just jumped to mind? I haven't thought of it in a long time, but be still and know that I am God. You can't know anything if you can't be still. And stillness means you're not rehashing a lot of old thoughts and ideas, but you are actually leaving a space for some new ones. So be still and know that I am God. God in Judaism is oneness. And the letter Aleph is also, it also means one. And we all have a piece of that oneness that is divine consciousness that we're yearning to return to. So to tap into that, being still is a fundamental requirement. So what are you doing to be still these days? We certainly have ample opportunity right now to be still. How are you practicing stillness? Some people, movement, actually. It stills their mind. Going for a walk, right? Getting away from all of the triggers in the environment that stimulate thoughts and fears and anxiety, right? The purpose of meditation is to develop the skill of dropping right down into that stillness very immediately, right down into that oneness that is beyond the ego. And it's what the Buddhists call that golden nugget of reality, of truth that is encrusted in all this shit. I mean, you could consider all that shit the thoughts that fly by when you're trying to meditate and you're just not following them. You're letting them go and allowing yourself to settle into this inevitable peace that naturally arises. That's the oneness I'm talking about. And that is the essence of Aleph, pure potential and creative energy. So I think it's worth starting to meditate, don't you? I mean, I think a meditation practice is a good thing for everybody, especially right now. Well, it always is. I don't care if all you do is sit for 1 minute a day and just keep your focus on your breath and keep bringing your focus back to your breath and again back to your breath for a full minute. That's meditating. Do that and notice how you feel afterwards. So I think that's the message I was meant to impart today. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. There you go. Aleph. Go find yourself some Aleph. I'm going to be off next week because I'm going on vacation. And so you will find me the week after next on Tuesday, and I believe that's September 1st for the next COVID Coping live stream. In the meanwhile, don't be a stranger. Direct message me, whatever, ping me. Find out how you can schedule a free discovery session with Coach Rahti. I'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful week, and if you enjoyed this, please share wildly. Take care. Bye-bye.